Hello 102ers and welcome to week 3. There are a few things to tackle this week and your first major paper needs to be submitted. Fun times, right? Are you ready for that? We are moving quickly towards spring break and I gotta tell you, my springs are definitely broke. I'm beat up and in need of a week or two on the couch. Between being sick a couple weeks ago, the constant moving of being a full-time educator and parent of 2, I'm looking forward to a break, but let's do this. Unit 1 is now in the past and we are now starting Unit 2. If you will do me the honor of looking at this announcement here, I'm telling you exactly what we're doing up to. Here's the video, here's the chapter listing for the video this week. You have the comparative essay coming up in week 6, you have some time. I've also attached the directions and sample for that one so you can look ahead. We've got 3 things to look at this week, and then you've got 2 assignments. The Unit 1 Exploratory Research Essay, which is the first big paper. It's worth 15% of your final grade. And the Revisiting Your Topic Discussion Board, which is pretty quick and easy. But both of these we're going to go over today. Here are the attachments. The Unit 1 Exploratory Essay to kind of remind you of what things look like, and the Unit 2 to look ahead. Okay? So after we look at the announcements, we can go right back to the main page, go over here to the View the Course Schedule, click on the 102 Masterclass Schedule, and scroll all the way down here to Week 3. And again, as you can see, we are starting Unit 2. We've got 3 things to look at here. You can look through the class exercise, which is the questions of opinion or fact. I quite like that one. And 2 assignments to submit for a grade. So, it doesn't look like there's that much. Will this be the week I finally go less than 15 minutes? God, I hope so. I'm tired of these damn long videos. So let's chat about this first document here and get to what is a comparative research essay. Clicking on there, we get to this page, and it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. This is the Unit 2 paper, and this is how to do it. Once again, we have the cute little picture here that doesn't really do anything. But down here is all the information that you're really going to want to pay attention to. The sample document is kind of broken up in this Google slide, which is helpful. I don't believe it's as helpful as the document that I am attaching to the announcement, but you can figure that out for yourself. We can have the copy here that you can look at all in told. And then here are the requirements. We are moving from a 3 to 4 page paper to a 4 to 6 page paper. You're still going to use the first and third person point of view. You will not use the second person at all. You're going to have an introduction, a background. Well, you know what? Let's talk about my own. Here's what it is, right? 4 to 6 pages, 2 news sources. So now you're going to have a collection of 4. We're going to have a single paragraph introduction, a single paragraph background, 2 comparing perspectives, which we're going to get to, an exploratory synthesis, which we're going to touch on today, as well as a conclusion. And then, of course, we're going to have the sample paper here. This is going to show you exactly how it is formatted. And you can go over that. We are not going to go into detail today. I just wanted to show you what it looked like. But you can go through it and ask me if there's any questions that you have. Otherwise, we're going to go over this a little bit closer to when it's due. That way you know exactly what it is without being confused as to what is Unit 1 and what is Unit 2. Going back to the idea of what it is, I mean, basically what you're going to do is dig deeper into a minimum of 2 sides of your argument. The first unit was all about the 2 sources. This one is about the 2 sides. Now, obviously, one of the sides is going to be the side you already agree with, and the other side is going to be the one that you don't necessarily agree with. Now, for some of you, this one versus the other is really easy because you have a binary argument, and that is an argument that is one or the other. However, for somebody else, you might have a more nuanced argument. So you might think outside the box and find a strong side and a weak side, which is one of many. In any case, you'll be looking at the overall perspectives rather than the specific sources this time around. And that is the key difference from the first paper. You're then going to reassemble the pieces into something resembling an argument. That's called a synthesis. Now, there are a lot of building blocks that you can put together in any way you want, and not everyone will put them together exactly the same way unless they're following very specific instructions. So think of Legos. Now, when you get a new set of Legos, probably 99% of the people empty that box out and they build the intended kit with the intended instructions. They end up with a boat, or a castle, or a spaceship, or a bust of Darth Vader. Perfect. They look at it for a while, play with it for a while, and then what? Well, some put it up on a shelf and let it collect dust. Others, like me, take it apart. Some of the people that take it apart just put the pieces away to build the exact same thing again later. But some people, like me, well, we say, I can take this castle, I can, take it apart, and I can build a boat with it, or I can build a tree with it, or I can change Darth Vader to a spaceship. The pieces remain the same, but now our own ideas and our own creativity let us put those exact same pieces together in a brand new way. It creates a brand new result. That is synthesis. That is what you're going to be doing in this paper. Once again, you can go through that page and look at the same paper and all of that, the sample paper, and that's great. Do it. You can't have too much information, right? But you can also go to the announcement and then bring up the attachment that I just showed you with the PDF, okay? I'm not going to go over it today again because it's not due for another few weeks, but I just wanted you to have access to it so you can see what the end result will be. All right, I'm all too happy to discuss it later, but right now let's focus on what we've got, okay? So our next document is going to be finding your synthesis question. So clicking on here will take us over here, and it's the difference between questions of fact and questions of opinion, which is like what I like to call closed questions and open questions. See, a closed question is the idea that, they can kind of be answered very briefly, very definitively. What time is it? What color is that? What type of car is that? All these are quick and easy answers. A question of opinion, or an open question, is something where the answer can be debated for hours, or days, or months, or decades, or centuries. What happens after we die? Is there life out there on vast reaches of space and other planets? Will the Philadelphia Flyers ever win another Stanley Cup? Sadly, that last answer breaks my heart a little bit. God, it's tough being a Philadelphia sports fan. You young people have no idea the decades of heartbreak we old warhorses have had to endure. Just because the Eagles won the Super Bowl does not mean that life is just very easy in Philadelphia. It's not always sunny. In any case, once excuse me, once you get through the idea of which question is which, you can start to build your synthesis question. That is, a question which introduces your argument to the masses and is specific enough to not cause a lot of confusion. You have to avoid the vagueness and directly answer the question and be a bit more open-minded about that information. So once we get through that, you can figure out exactly how to introduce your argument to the masses. Once we get through that, you can actually click here to review SIRS. I think we've already talked about it for the topics. You can go through and choose sources. You can look see where the source is. SIRS link is right here. You can also go back to your main page, click on Student Success Toolbox, Library, and the databases are all right here. SIRS is at the bottom. So clicking in there, you should be able to get there and find all manner of information with the databases. Here is a database tutorial that librarians put together in YouTube. You're welcome to look at that. But this kind of like shows you the whys and wherefores that we've already covered previously. Okay? So that helps. You can also try the class exercise or quiz, the questions of opinion or fact, to kind of narrow down what you think in here. So clicking on that will take you to this page, and honestly, it's just a movement. There's not really anything to enter. So you can decide whether the questions are questions of opinion or fact. For example, does youth football need stricter safety standards? Well, it's kind of a question of opinion because there's no real fact to prove it exact one way or the other. There are different people who feel different ways. But does texting while driving increase the chances of getting into an accident? That is a question of fact, because now when you look at it, you can actually find statistics to prove that answer one way or the other. Either way, you can click through the rest and find out what you need to, but I fully understand that many of you probably will kind of skip through it. Of course, there are 2 assignments. The first one will be the biggie, the 15% assignment. Clicking on here will take you right to this page. Remember, it's 3 to 4 pages. You're going to have 2 sources. You can look at all the samples in the What is an Exploratory Research essay paper that we looked at in week 1. Or you can click the attachment on the announcement and you'll get to the Unit 1 Exploratory Research essay directions and samples. I'm showing you exactly what you need. The first 3 pages are the directions, and then the remainder of the paper here is going to be the sample. So just follow through with what you need to do. Make sure that you follow the formatting. Note, title here, subtitle here, okay? Only page number. Then we have the subtitle. We have a subtitle. We have a subtitle. We have a subtitle. We have another subtitle. And then finally, a subtitle. Make sure that if you are using any source material within the paper, which you should also have in-text citations as well, okay? Make sure everything that you have necessary is in there, and of course, your final bit is going to be the references page, showing me exactly what you need to list out that you used on the paper itself. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help you, but everything you need should be in here. I mean, it's practically your Bible. Finally, you're going to have the discussion board. Very quick, very easy, rock and roll, okay? So clicking on there will take you to the discussion board. And one of the things that I have noticed is that a lot of students just feel that they can go in there and write whatever they want as quickly as they want and get it done. No. I have 6 questions here that I want you to answer with at least 2 to 3 sentences each. And then what you're going to do is you're going to post the announcement, or the discussion board post right down here. You can see do not reply to this sample, but here's my sample. You can tell because it says sample. And then I have 3 paragraphs here. Each one of these encompassed 2 bullet points, okay? It's very helpful. And what you're going to do here with the sample is you're going to go down here, read it, and then when you're done, you are going to reply to at least 2 of your peers' samples. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I do not want you just to write, yeah, that's right, or no, that's wrong. I want to see more of it. So, let's go back and take a look, because for the peer responses, I have 4 bullet points that I want you to answer. And if you can do that, you will be in really great shape, okay? Don't forget that this is a writing class. It is meant to be detailed, okay? And that's the assignments. So if you have any questions, email me well before the due date. That's the week, kids. Hopefully it's not too stressful for you. We're coming up to spring break in a few weeks, and then you can chill out a little bit. Until then, I hope you have a great week. Be good, rest up, and see ya.